YouTube, what's happening? It is Tuesday, July 9th. You can see we got a full slate of baseball to talk about today. But first, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't, and share to somebody who needs some help because you can see the green is still there. 2-1 yesterday with a .7 units back into the bankroll. We love to see it. 11.1 for the past week, 33.8 for the past month, and 83.7 for the season. We still making that climb to 100. Slow and steady wins the race around here. You're not going to see some mega massive bomb nuclear plays where I'm dropping 100 units on a play. Like, no, if you're following those people, unfollow them because they're scamming you hard. Around here, I give out every play. Every play is 1 unit. There has been one play that has not been a unit, and that was the 2-unit nerfy for the Baltimore game last week. It hit. It was great. So everything's 1 unit. And too many people are focused on the records. The first number in this line that's green, it's cool. I put it up there because people want to see it. I don't care about it. It means nothing to me because all that matters is what's going into my bankroll at the end of the day. If that number is green, that's all that we should care about. If you're focusing more on the record than somebody's actual profits, you got a problem. You're doing this all wrong, buddy. You got to change up your perspective. So we are focusing on profits and profits only. I don't care if I'm 10 and 1,000. If I'm green at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me because profits is the game here. That's all we're doing here. So drop a like, subscribe, share to somebody who needs some help, and let's go ahead and jump into that first game right now. All right, first up, we got the Cubs and the Orioles. You can see that the Orioles are -148. That's the best number out there. They're pretty heavy favorites. Over under of 9 currently is the number you can see. Pass over to the bats. We see 49.0 is the nerfy, what they've done this year based on where they're at. Statistics batting lean to Baltimore, as you can see, 3.3 runs for 23rd, meanwhile batting 215 for 22nd. So Cubs are 23rd and 22nd in 2 categories. They don't want to be in the bottom 7 in, which they are. Baltimore is in the top 7, 5.7 runs and 288 average. So they're big advantage when it comes to the bats for this one for Baltimore. Neither team is striking out much, so not worried about that. Looking over at the pitchers, let's start with the Cubs. Mr. Italian here, 299 with a 118. Looking at his game log, you can see recently what he has done. And people want to say, well, they might have faced somebody early in the year. Once you're outside of a month, I don't care. I look at what you've done recently. What have you done for me lately? And if you're not within a month, I don't really care what you did. So I don't care who you faced. I don't care how you did because people change over time. They get better, they get worse. So I want to know what you've done. That's why I don't like full season stats because they factor in a whole season. It's hard to judge how they're really doing at the time. So right now, you can see a month ago, Italian got wrecked by the White Sox, but then he counted back. He 6-1, 4-3, 4-2. He's doing much better. So see how that works. So Italian, pretty decent pitcher, good numbers since he faced the White Sox. Kramer, on the other hand, game log, you can see he did not pitch at all in the month of June. These are May stats right here. He got roughed up against St. Louis. He was obviously hurt in this game, hence the reason he gave up 5 earned runs. Now he took 30 days to get better, and he came back and pitched a 5-inning jump against Seattle. So you see how these work. I need to know what you've done recently. So because now if I scroll down, we get April numbers. I don't care about these numbers. That's April. I want to know what you've done lately, and this is all I care about. You came back, you bounced back, you look good. So in my mind, we got 2 pretty good pitchers. We have a team that's pretty hot with the bats in Baltimore, a team that's pretty cold in the bats in Chicago. Prop wise, we pop over here. Let's start with Jameson. Hits, we can see nothing. He's getting better over time, which is what you'd like to see. Strikeouts. Neither team strikes out much, so I don't really want to do a strikeout prop. Earned runs, nothing stands out. Walks, nothing stands out. Let's go to Kramer. Hits, nothing. Ks, a lot of people are going to probably take Kramer's Ks against the Cubs, but the Cubs aren't striking out much, so I don't want to do it. It's only 4.5, but that's iffy. I mean, he's gone under 4 times, and then Cubs don't strike out much, so that's the thing. People will still probably take it. It's not a bad bet, let's be honest. 4.5 is a good number. 6 out of 10 times, but I'll pass on it. Earned runs, no. Walks, no. And we haven't figured out pitching out yet. I'm still working on it, so I got to figure out the best way to incorporate that into this. So for me, on this one, I'm going to take Baltimore on the money line. And people are going to say, why are you taking such a high money line? Because profit's profit, baby. I don't care what it is. As long as it makes me green, that's all I care about. So, and it will also go into a money line parlay at the end of this. So Baltimore money line. And also, since we have two pretty decent pitchers in my mind and we got one cold bat, I'm going to take the under in this one, which as we see is currently sitting at 9. Under of 9 is just straight minus 110. So it might even be better numbers than that, but we'll put 110 on the board for now. 110. So yeah, under 9 for 110 in Baltimore money line, and then we'll move on to the next game. All right, second game, we got the Guardians and the Tigers. You can see Cleveland is a mildly favored, moderate favorite maybe, 140-ish. You can see total is 8.5. Pop over to the bats. We see that Nerfy 55.3 based on what they've done this year. Cleveland 3.3 runs for 23rd, 221 average for 21st in their last 3 games. That's not good. Cleveland's struggling. They're in the bottom 10 in bats in the last 3 games, including last game. They got no runs and batted 107. So Cleveland's struggling with the bats. Detroit, on the other hand, you can see one, they're on a 4-game winning streak. You always got to point out the winning streaks here. They are getting 3.7 runs a game for 20th while batting 265. So they are technically better in the bats, yes. The average is top 10. That's what you want to see. Strikeout wise, 5.7 because Cleveland's one of the Cleveland, San Diego, those are the teams that don't strike out much. Detroit, 8 strikeouts for 13th. So we have a slight advantage for Detroit with the bats. Looking over at the pitchers, we see that Lively's going out there for Cleveland, 3-1-4, it's 1-1-6. 6-3 against the White Sox, 6-2 against KC, 3-2, 6-4, 3-0 against Miami, and a 5-2. These are good numbers. Don't hate these numbers at all. Toronto, 6-4 is his worst set out here. I'll take it. Those are good numbers. His counterpart, though, Meta gave up a triple niner last time against Minnesota, 999. Minnesota, we know this is the hottest team in the majors with the offense right now, so this isn't that, I mean, I didn't expect him to give up this much, but I expected at least like 4 or 5 runs. So he got wrecked. Outside that 6-2, 8-3, 5-4, 1-1, and then 2 pitches don't matter. So you can see he's going to give up a couple runs. He got wrecked against the Twins. Now he's facing Cleveland, who everyone's going to see these numbers. They're going to see Cleveland and say, oh, I'm taking Cleveland. Well, the odds do say Cleveland, but the bats say Detroit because Cleveland's bats are ice cold right now. You batted last game at 107. That's the worst in the majors. 107, 221 the last 3. You were in the middle, but now you're slowly coming down. You're trending down. I don't like betting on teams on a downtrend like that. I want teams on an uptrend or a steady trend. So for me, I cannot take Cleveland money line. I don't trust it. Meta may not be the best pitcher. I mean, these numbers are pretty bad. Let's be honest. But I don't trust bats. And in baseball, you've got to score runs to win games. And if you can't score runs, you can't win games. So I'm going to pass on my line. I'm not taking Detroit on my line either, not with this pitcher. Totals, I don't. Meta might give up runs. Lively might not give up runs, but the bats, neither team are going to score runs, I don't think. And the total is what, 8.5? Yeah, I don't trust the over or under either way because Meta might give up 8 by himself. So we're going to pass on the over under. We're going to pass on the east side. We're going to pass it on Nerfy because no, there we go. No, I'm sorry. No, can't do it. So we're going to pass on Nerfy too. Only thing we have to look at are props. So let's pop over to props here. Again, if you don't know what this is Outlier. I work with them. They're awesome. They have a free trial. You can check it out for 7 free days. Link in the description. Go check it out. Trust me, it's awesome. It's free. Why not? All you do is sign with an email and all of a sudden, boom, you get free access. So pretty awesome. So anyways, all that we have here, we have hits. Hit prop might be something to work because over 6.5 is plus 120, which means under. And he is facing Detroit, but Detroit is number 10 in batting. And remember, Detroit's bats are doing good. They're just struggling to score the runs. So people are going to see this and probably bet this. And I'm going to lay off. I'm going to lay off. If Detroit was like 17th in batting average, I would probably take this, but they're 10th. They're trending up, and I don't want to go against that. So we're going to be cautious here. Cautious. Strikeout prop as well. Let's look at, again, their top. They're not striking out much. They're 8 strikeouts, so we're going to pass on that. Earn runs, no, I'm not doing that. And walks, nothing stands out. Made, on the other hand, hits. Made to go hits. Made is not bad. He's had a back couple games, but for the season on the prop side, it's not bad. Strikeouts, earned runs. Yeah, he's nothing standing out to me at all, especially in the most recent games. So for me, this is just a weird game. You have 2 terrible offenses. Pitchers are I'm just going to pass on this entire game and move on to the next one. All right, next up we got the Dodgers and the Phillies. We got the Phillies as a slight favorite at home, especially with the big dudes coming back today. Over under is 9. Bats, we see nervy 42% based on what they've done this year. With these, maybe we might do it. You can see they're both batting 250 over the last 3. They're both tied for 12th in the majors. Dodgers getting 5 runs a game. Phillies getting 3 runs a game. So slight advantage to the Dodgers in the runs, but Phillies getting some of their weapons back tonight, supposedly. Twitter is saying that, so we'll see how that works. Looking over at the pitchers, we see Wheeler's going out, and outside his one game against Baltimore, he has been the epitome of consistency. Dude is just, we expect 1 to 2 runs given up. He's probably going to pitch 6 or 7 innings, maybe closer to 7, and it's going to be good. He does walk some. He has been hitting a couple walks a game here recently. Outside of these 2, he's been doing a couple walks, so a walk prop might be something worth looking at too. So his counterpart, Bobby Miller, is only done 3 games. We can see 6-5 against Colorado, 4-3 against the White Sox, and 4-2 against Arizona. So, and Arizona's pretty hot, so that's actually kind of impressive what he did. So, but he only has 3 data points, so it's going to make props really hard to do for him. So I can't do props for him. So we can do props for Wheeler though. So let's pop over to Wheeler and see what he's done recently. Last 5, last 10. We'll do last 10. You can see earned runs. He's been pretty solid. He's going against the Dodgers. They're 12th in batting average with the Phillies, and they are getting 5 runs a game, so I'm not touching that. They haven't been striking out, the Dodgers haven't, so we're not going to touch that. Hits, not going to touch those. Walks is the one, because you see, bam, his number is 1.5. It's 142 at Caesars, 165 BetMGM, which means you can get offshore even better numbers probably somewhere. But it is the Dodgers. They do have the pop in the bats. We know that he might try to, he might hit a 2. I think I'm going to take Wheeler over 1.5 walks because I like this. In Detroit, the Dodgers aren't striking out much, so we'll do that. And then coming back to the original odds, with the notion that Schwarber and Harper are both coming back tonight, and we have Wheeler pitching, I believe, and I think they're probably going to try to celebrate the fact that 7 Phillies are going to the All-Star game. They're going to try to celebrate that tonight, I think, somehow. I think I'm going to take Philly on the money line. 140 is over. They got numbers out there. Those are pretty decent numbers. So we'll take Philly on the money line. It'll probably go in the money line parlay. Add Wheeler over 1.5 walks, and we'll move to the next game. All right, next up, we got the Yankees at the Rays. We have the Yankees as a slight favorite on the road. Over under is currently sitting around 8. Looking at the bats, we see that 46.8% nerfy based on what they've done this year. With these pitchers, probably a pass, even with these offenses. 5.7 runs for New York is 7th. Meanwhile, Tampa is 29th at 1.7. New York's batting 238 for 14th. Meanwhile, Tampa is dead last in the majors at 160. So Tampa is struggling with the bats hard in the last few games. 6.3 and 9 are the strikeouts. So Tampa is not striking out. They're middle of the road. Yankees are top 5. So Yankees have the advantages with the bats. Even though they're not that impressive, they're still better than Tampa. So let's look at the pitchers. Pepio is going out there. 4.4, the 1-1-2 has not faced the Yanks. 6-3, 9-4, 6-5, 3-2, 1-1-1. Great against them. 4-2. You can see what he's done. He gives up some runs. He's more inclined. This was his best game. This was his worst game. You take those 2 out. You get a bunch of 2 or 3 to 4. He's probably give up closer to 3 runs a game. Rodon, on the other hand, 4.45 of the 1-2-4. He did decent, we'll say that. But the only thing is, Cincy, when he faced him, has been bottom 5 in average and runs, and he still did this. 3.33. I took his over of over 2.5 earned runs, and he hit it. It was nice. For that, 10-8, 11-7. Hasn't faced Tampa. 7-5. So he's not. Let's be honest. Rodon's trash right now. He's not good. No, he shouldn't be starting for the Yankees right now, especially with these numbers. He shouldn't. He needs to go. They need to put him in AAA for a bit and figure things out or something. Do something. Send him somewhere because these numbers are not good. Pepio's numbers are better. So even though he's through doing things like this, his numbers are better slightly. So we have 2 pitchers. Like, the only problem is we have bats that are as well. So Tampa's bats are Rodon's numbers are they cancel out. Pepio's numbers are Yankees numbers are they cancel out. So I can't take a side. I'm not taking the Yankees money line. You think I'm putting my hard-earned money back in Carlos Rodon? Do you see these numbers? Hell no. I'm not trying to set my money on fire. And I'm not taking Tampa and Pepio because look at these batting numbers. I ain't trying to set my money on fire with Tampa. So we're not taking that. We're not taking the total. We're not taking the side. We're not taking the nerfy because I don't know what happened. Tampa could put a 10 spot on Rodon today. And Rodon could pitch a perfect game. Who knows? So none of that's happening. And then props. Let's be honest. I'm not even going to look at props because, yeah, we will. Well, let's look. Let's look. Let's not jump to conclusions here. Rodon, last 2 games, you can see he's given up a lot of runs. Strikeouts, he's middle of the road. Hits, middle of the road. Walks, nothing stands out. And he's facing Tampa's offense, which is terrible. And he's terrible, so it's like, oh, it's so hard. Pepio, on the other hand, it's nothing is really, no strikeouts in his last game. That's interesting. Is that true? Hold on, let me make sure that's true. Yeah. He pitched 4 innings against KC and got no strikeouts. Wow. You don't see that often. Earned runs, walks, nothing standing out. This game was just disgusting, let's be honest. This is a nasty game that's been sitting in the back of the fridge. You need to take it out, take it to the trash, and throw it away now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that. We're just going to trash this game and move on to the next one. All right, next up, we got the Rockies and the Reds. We have the Reds as heavy favorites for some reason in this one. 8.5 is your total out there. Looking at the bats, I mean, how? One will say how, because Colorado's getting 1.3 runs a game. They are 30th. They're dead last in scoring in the last 3 games and the last week and the last 2 weeks. Terrible offense for Colorado right now. They're batting 100, which is 27th. They've been in the 20s the past 2 weeks, and they're middle of the road strikeouts, so not really striking out too much. Cincinnati, on the other hand, 3.3 runs for 23rd. They're batting 191, which is somehow worse than Colorado, while striking out 12.3, which is almost in Seattle territory. So they are struggling still. Now, the last game they played, they did get 6 runs, and they batted 267. So that might be a slight breakout. We need to see if they can do it again. But as of right now, they are not doing well. And Colorado somehow has trended worse than what they usually do because they had 0 runs in their last game and they batted 138. So I can see why Cincy's favored, let's be honest, because Colorado is just that bad. Let's look at the pitchers. Lododo is going out there. 296 on a 107. Has not faced Rado recently. 5-4, 5-1, 7-2, 4-1, 7-2, 4-1, 5-3. These are good numbers. He's a good pitcher. Nothing stands out here. These are good. His strikeouts, 3, 8, 6, 7, 3. He's not striking out as much as I thought he would this year. I thought he'd do better. He's tied for 81st. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, so I thought he'd have more consistent 8, 9 strikeout games, but I was wrong apparently. So let's look at his counterpart, Mr. Cal over here. 377, 133. Has not faced the Reds. 9-4, 3-0, 3-0, 7-3, 7-3, 7-5, 5-2. His worst game was a 7-5, and he had a couple gems. You know he's probably good for a couple runs given up here and there. The Reds, Lodolo's probably good for 2 runs. His worst game was way back in May. You can see the month of June was good for him. His worst start was 5-3. 5 hits, 3 earned. So, yeah, Reds have the pitching advantage by a little bit. Even though, let's be honest, Cal isn't bad. You take up this one game, he's 5-2, 7-3, 7-3, a couple gems. It's not bad numbers for a Colorado pitcher now, is it? I don't think it is. So we got 2 pretty decent pitchers. We have 2 stagnant offenses. We'll be nice, call it stagnant for Cincinnati and swamp water for Colorado because that's about what it is. So we look at a nerfy. I think we do because we have 2 good pitchers. I don't trust the offenses. The only thing I'm worried about is Ellie getting on base with a walk and then stealing 2 bases because that's what he does, and that does scare me. So, but the bats are so bad, he might not get on base. The pitchers are good. No, we're doing it. We're going nerfy. We're going nerfy. We're gonna lean on these pitching staff. These 2 pitchers that are both fairly decent numbers. Lodolo's even better. We're gonna hope that the bats aren't that good. Ellie doesn't get on base and doesn't steal 2 bases and score somehow. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna fade these offenses hard. So on the actual game though, we're not taking a side. I don't trust Cincinnati that much. If anything, I trust what's the total? 8.5. Ooh. Let's look at the under. Under is sitting at plus 100. Yep. Under 8.5. All right, so for this game, we're going to take those, and then we're going to look at props. See if any, it's like we're doing shopping at the store. Let's see what else we want before we leave here. Let's fill up the cart. We'll start with Quantrill. Strikeouts, nah. Hits, no. I need a sale. That's what I need. I need a good sale, a good bargain out here I could put in my cart. Walks. Sometimes he walks a good bit. Nothing standing out. Adolo. See strikeouts. He's not doing 6.5 against Colorado. Come on. That's too high. That's too much. It's even plus money. They know it's too much. No, it's under. I need over. Under. Yeah, no. I'm still not gonna do it. Hits. He gives us some hits. Walks. So for me, I think I have enough. My cart's full. I have me a Nerfy in there. I got me a good deal on an under 8.5. I think I'm gonna take those to the checkout. We're gonna take Nerfy under 8.5 and move on to the next game. All right, next up we got the Washington Nationals and the New York Mets. You can see the Mets are a slight favorite at home. 8.5 is the total out there. Let's look at the bats. Nerfy is almost green. It is 69.7 based on what they've done this year as a team. Washington on the road, New York at home. We have some numbers. Runs a game in the last 3, 5.7 for Washington for 7th. New York 3.3 for 23rd. Washington's batting 318. New York's batting 275. That both top 10. That makes the Nerfy kind of hard to do. Let's look at the pitchers, see if anything stands out. We do have Irvin going out there. Irvin has been a beast outside of this one game against Arizona. He did face the Mets last week. Let's be honest, 8 innings, 1 hit gem with 8 strikeouts. Does he replicate? There's the age-old saying, when the pitchers and batters face each other the second time, the batters tend to have a slight advantage because they see how the ball comes out the hand, they see the motion, they see the pitches, the movement, all sorts of things. Does that matter today? It's a question. I wonder. Quintana also faced. Was it the same game? Yeah, they both pitched on 4th of July, so they faced each other. 7 innings, 4 hits. This was a pitcher matchup. The final score was 1-0. Let's be honest. It was. I had Irving strikeouts. That's all I had in this game, I believe. I don't think I had anything else. So, this one's a little difficult. Over under is what, 8.5, and we get the same pitchers, and this time the bats are both trending down. I mean, they're both looking decent, but the downtrend is a little concerning. So, I think in this one, I gotta go back to the well. You know, I drank from there once. I'm gonna drink from there again. I'm gonna take under 8.5 because until the offense show me they can hit these two pitchers, I'm gonna bet the under because we see that these two pitchers were balling out last game. 5 total combined hits in the 15 innings they pitched. It was just great. Great matchup. And people thought it'd be fireworks on 4th of July. From the arms, maybe, not the bats in this game. So Irvin had 8 strikeouts. I know I took it because the Mets were striking out a good bit. You could see a week ago they were 23rd. Now and that number's been slightly skewed with how they've been doing recently too. So I think they're like 28th when I took them. So now I'm not going to take the strikeouts. So Nerfy though. Do 2 pitchers balling out. Nervy's. Do I do it? You know what? We had such a short card yesterday. I feel like I'm craving action today. I feel like I'm craving too much action. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty for plays. So we're going to do it just like Colorado Cincy. We're going to take the Nerfy in this one. We're going to ride Quintana and Irvin and hope they can get us through the first inning and not do anything stupid. We're going to take that under 8.5 as well. Now let's look at some props. I'm back at the store. We got the shopping cart going. I need some specials. I need a buy one, get one strikeout. That's what I need. Something good. So go away. I don't want that. So refresh this. So it pops up right. Hit the over on that. Strikeouts. See, I don't want to take a strikeouts again because he only hits it half the time. 5.5's not bad, but the Mets aren't striking out as much as they were. So hits. Ooh. What's their bats? They're both batting decently though. That's the only thing. The Mets are struggling to score runs. Washington scored nothing in the last game, but they're both still batting. They even batted 235 for 12th in their last game. So I can't do that. I just can't do it. So, and walks, no. So nothing for Irvin. Quintana hits, strikeout. Dude's pretty good, and Washington's not striking out much. Earned runs, he's become a beast here recently. Walks, he does walk some people. That's interesting. I already got 2 plays though. Let's leave it like it is. I got 2 plays. We're going to take the Nerfy. The number is almost green, and we have 2 beast pitchers. That's what I'm going to take. And we're going to ride it back. It was a 1-0 game when they faced last week. I'm going to do it again. Under 8.5 again. and move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Oakland and Boston. We have Boston is a heavy favorite at home. 185 is the best number out there. 10 is the over-under currently. Looking at the bats, we see Oakland bats have been en fuego. They are on fire. They are getting 8 runs a game in their last 3 for second. 283 in their last 3 for 7th in batting average. They're even only striking out 10 times. That's 24th. They're usually, in the last game, 13 times, but hey, they've been trying to get better. And the Nerfy's 53.9. With that offense, no shot. We're taking a Nerfy. So Oakland bats have all the statistics. Look at all the Oakland logos. When do you see that often? You don't. Boston, only 4 runs a game for 17th, batting 206 for 25th, and they're striking out more than Oakland. 12.7 for 29th. You might as well call them Seattle Red Sox. I probably made that joke last episode too. So, hey, whatever. So Oakland has all the advantages in the bats. Looking over at the pitchers, we see that Estes is going out there. Let's be honest, Estes outside of this game right here against Minnesota, and Minnesota has been hot multiple times. So you can see 3-2 against Angels, 5-0 against the Angels, 8-3 against San Diego, 1 hit over 6. The dude's a good pitcher. He's a real good. He might not be wearing an A's uniform by the trade deadline. Let's be honest. He might get traded somewhere. Bello, on the other hand, he had 7 innings of good against Miami, 5-7 against Toronto, 6-4 against New York, 7-5 against the White Sox, 8-4 against Detroit. Come on, man. Those numbers aren't good. So it sounds crazy. Oakland has the pitching advantage. I think you see where I'm going with this. Oakland has the batting advantage. Oakland has tell me which pitcher you would take of these 2 pitching staff right here. Outside of these 2, which one would you take? I'm taking Joey Estes. Of these 2 bats, I'm taking the Oakland bats. It sounds crazy. Don't do this. Do not do this at home. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm doing it. Oakland plus money line sounds quite fun to root for today. Plus 160 is the best number out there. Maybe even Oakland plus 1.5 at just some straight minus 115 might be the safer option. That might be safer. But we're going to add it to the list. We'll do plus 1.5. Plus 1.5. Because I might sprinkle money line outside. We'll see. Closer to game time, we'll see. Once the odds, because people are going to bet heavily on Boston throughout the day. I already know they are. So Oakland plus 1.5 is basically even money. I will take that for sure. Total of 10. No. Can't. Oakland's offense is hot. I can't do it. I don't trust Boston's offense to help. So yeah, but we'll look at some props. Bello earned runs has been quite 2.5. Over 2.5. Let's see, that was Toronto, and that was Washington. And you can see strikeouts, no. Earned run might be in play. Hits, he is that 5.5. And that's too much. That's too much. Walks, he likes to walk people. And now you are facing Oakland. Never mind. How about the thing about walks in Oakland? Strikeouts, though, he's not a strikeout dude, or else we would talk about that. So let's go to Joey. Earned runs, dude's been on fire outside of a couple rough games. Strikeouts against, 3.5. Boston swinging at everything. He doesn't strike out many, but does Estes just throw a gem today and just goes off? I mean, he hasn't even faced. Yeah, he only struck out 5 against Seattle, though. That's concerning. It's Seattle. You should be striking out at least 8 or 9. So I'm going to hold off on the strikeouts. Hits, no. Walks, no. Earned runs, no. Okay, we're going to leave those alone. So all we're going to do in this one, we're going to take Oakland plus 1.5. If you want to sprinkle money line, feel free. I might do it closer to game time. If I do, I'll update. But for now, we're just going to take Oakland plus 1.5 and move to the next game. All right, next up, we got a little rivalry game, little Royals and Cardinals here. We got St. Louis as a slight favorite at home. Total is 7.5 with the pitchers we got going on today. With the bats, we see the Nerfy is highlighted 63.6 based on what they've done this year. That's all it takes into consideration. The bats are hot. 4.3 for Kansas City for 14th, but they got 10 runs in their last game. And St. Louis, 6.7 for third. They got 6 runs in their last game. 280 for batting versus 302. So they're both top 8 in batting average. 5.7 versus 8.7. Casey's doing better with strikeouts than St. Louis. St. Louis is middle of the road. So just looking at this, St. Louis has the advantage of bats. but KC is trending up based on their one game of 10 runs and batting 324. So to me, both bats are doing good. Looking over at the pitchers, we got Waka going out here for, hey, they changed his pitcher to KC finally. He's been wearing San Diego stuff all year. They finally updated it, I think. So you can see Tampa Bay 2 for 1 for 6 innings, 7 for 1, 3 for 1, 5-2, 3-2. Dude's been a beast. In these May, June, he missed a few weeks. That's fine, but you can see he's been pretty good. He hasn't done much. Palante, outside of this rough game here, in this game here, he had a 3-0, a 5-2, a 4-0, a 4-1. So he is highs and lows. You're either going to get his best game, or he's going to give up 5 runs, 5 or 6 runs. So he's up and down. So that's what you get out of him. So to me, both pitchers are pretty good, but I would say Waka, just looking at the stats, is an overall better pitcher. It's only been 3 games, but still, he hasn't had a blow-up game yet. So we have two pretty good pitchers, let's be honest. Just slight advantage KC. We have 2 pretty good bats, slight advantage St. Louis. I can't take a side in this. And then, there is that slight little factor that they're close to each other. So, there's a little bit of a rivalry there. So, that factors. People hate each other when you're next to them. So, and they are pretty close to each other. So that's a factor in there too. I can't take a side in this one because both pitchers and bats cancel each other out. The total is 7.5. With these bats, the pitchers are good, I know, but I can't take a nerfy. With these bats, I can't take a nerfy. I'm not even going to take a total in this one, but we will look at some props. See if anything stands out. So Waka in his last, you see he's wearing San Diego still in his pitcher. So they need to update that. Earned runs, he's been a beast. His last 8 games has not gone over 2.5. But now he's facing the hot bats of St. Louis, so I'm a little weary of that. Strikeouts, he's done pretty good, but as we see, St. Louis is middle of the road in strikeouts. I don't think so. I don't know. Hits, not so much. Walks, nothing is standing out so far. Let's go to Palante. Earned runs, he's only pitched a handful of games this year, period. His strikeouts have been there, but now he's facing the Royals, who they don't strike out. Let's be honest. If you're taking strikeout props against the Royals, good luck. You just need it. So, hits, no. Walks, no. Nothing is standing out in this game. We have 2 good pitchers, 2 good offenses. Potential rivalry situation. I'm going to pass completely on this game because nothing feels right and just move on to the next game. All right, next up, we got the Twins and the White Sox. You have Minnesota as a pretty decent favorite on the road. It's the White Sox, that's why. Over is 8 right now. Why is it 8? I am a little shocked by that. Let's look at the bats. Again, I'm shocked. There's a lot of single digits. 6.7 runs per 360 batting average from Minnesota versus White Sox. 4.3 for 14th while batting 206 for 25th. They scored 7 runs yesterday. 6 runs yesterday. Minnesota had 8 runs. That was a fun game to watch. Hit the over. Chicago is striking out a good bit, and they're bottom 5 in batting average, but they still help hit the over. So as I thought they would, I figured they'd get a few runs. I didn't expect them to get 6. I thought they'd get like 2 or 3, and Minnesota got their 8, which I figured they'd probably get close to. So Nerfy highlighted. I don't care with that offense from Minnesota. No shots. Pass on that. Let's look at the pitchers. Eric Fedde going out there has not faced Minnesota recently. 6.3, 5.1, 8.2, 5.2, 5.4, 3.1. These aren't bad numbers. These are decent numbers. The worst game is a 4. His best game is a few 1s. So he's probably good enough for about 2. Now, and he pitches 6-7 innings. That's what you're going to get out of him. So not bad. Ober, however you want to say it, has not faced the Sox. 6.3, 7.4, 6.1, 4.2, 2.1, 7.3. He's not bad either. I see why the total's only 8. And we have the offense on fire for Minnesota, but Chicago struggling. We have 2 pitchers that are pretty decent, but they had enough. Let's dive a little deeper now, shall we? He faced Detroit. Offense isn't that hot. Seattle, he struck out 9. A couple games of Oakland. This is when Oakland was so cold. Oakland's hot now. They weren't hot 3 weeks ago. 7-4 against Pitt. Pitt has been up and down. So, Cleveland. We just saw Cleveland's cold right now. 5-4 against the Dodgers. They've been a little middle of the road. 5-2 against Detroit. These stats are pretty nice, but they've been getting a lot of favorable matchups, if you know what I'm saying. So For me, if the over-under is 8, I'm sorry, but I'm taking 8, especially with the number one offense right now. So over 8. Let me just put that on my sheet right now. Over of 8. And we're going to get minus 102. That's a plus EV play even. That's the cool thing about Outlier. They let you know about the plus EV plays. You click on it, expected value plus. It tells you what the books has, what it should be. So you're getting some good value there. So another little cool thing Outlier does that some places don't do. So I like that. So, and Minnesota money line. Do I trust this? I think I do. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Because the pitchers are, we got Ober going out there, and we got Fed, however you want to say it, going out there. I think, what was the money line? 158, that's it. I feel like that should be higher. That should be higher because Chicago got the runs yesterday, but they didn't do anything with them. They only got 6 runs. They're still batting 206. Twins are still batting 154 points higher in the batting average category in the last 3 games. So, Minnesota money line on the list. There we go. Let's look at some props. Prop time. So we want Ober, we want Fetty. Start with better. Over earn runs, no. Strikeouts. That caught my attention immediately. White Sox. Ooh, yeah. Yep. Pop back over to that real quick. 142, 5.5. He didn't do against these teams, but you gotta see in there. He faced Cleveland. He faced Minnesota, doesn't strike out. I mean, he does. He doesn't face Cleveland, who doesn't strike out. He faced KC, which we know never strikes out. The Yankees, not so much. But here, Oakland, Seattle, bottom 5 teams. Detroit, not so much. But these 3 are bottom 5 teams. And what is Chicago? A bottom 5 strikeout team. So we will do another bet. We're going to add Ober over 5.5 Ks. And hopefully this game doesn't end in the 7th this time. So, yeah, I like that. Hits, walks, no. Let's look at his counterpart. Fetty, earned runs, no. Hits, no. You're going against Minnesota's offense, yeah, but I got 3 plays already, so all right, we're good in this one. So for this one, we'll go back to the odds. We're going to take the over of 8. We're going to take Minnesota money line, add them in the parlay at the end, and we're going to take Ober over 5.5 strikeouts. Move on to the next game. All right, next up we got Miami and Houston. We got Houston as over 200 money line. They are because they're hosting Miami. 8.5 is your total out there. Looking at the bats, we see Miami 4.3 runs versus Houston 6.0 runs in their last 3. 232 versus 264. So slight advantage for Houston in both runs and batting average. 7 versus 9.3 strikeouts. Advantage Miami in the strikeouts though. So, but still overall, Houston has a slight advantage in the bats. Popping over to the pitchers, we know Trevor Rogers is going to start here for Miami. We see that he has not faced Houston. Not been bad. 6-4 is his worst game. 2-1 is his best game. 6-2, 4-2, 6-3, 5-2. Those are good numbers, especially for Miami. Yeah, I would take those. Not bad at all. So pretty good stats. Now, ESPN has Blanco starting. Outlier does not have any props for him, so it's a little confusing. So he might not be, something's up. Normally they're in line pretty easily. So something, he might not be starting, but we'll still cover it like he is. So Blanco has not faced Miami. His worst game was also a 4 earned runs. His best was a 7-inning no-hitter where he got pulled. Just beast of a game. A couple 1s, a 3 and a 2. He's slightly better than Rogers. Let's be honest. He just is. But these both are pretty good pitchers. Looking at the bats, we see both bats are middle of the road, on middle 10 on the average, and Houston's a little bit better with the runs. Now, the last game, they only got 2 runs. They only batted 161. Miami did better on the bats, 219, which is about what they are, but they got better on the runs. They got 7 runs. So, to me, the main thing I kind of want to look at in this one might be the over-under. With these 2 pitchers, I might take the under. Let's be honest. That 115, I think that's what I want to play. Because now, if for some reason Blanco is not the pitcher because something came up, I will cancel this bet out because I'm playing this strictly on the fact we got Rogers and Blanco going out there, and they are both beasting right now. So I'm going to take under 8.5 in this one. We're not going to take a Nerfy. What is Nerfy in this one? 52%. Do I trust the Nerfy in this one? That's a good question. You only had 3 innings last time. That's also concerning. Why did you only have, oh, you had 84 pitches in 3 innings. That's why. Ooh, that's a lot. So they limit his pitches. I don't even know if I want to hit the under now. Back up. Delete the under. I don't want the bullpen coming in like that. So, okay. There's too many questions. There's weird things going on in this game. I lean the under, but then we see Rogers only pitches so many innings because of his pitch count. I'm getting scared. I got scared. I'm leaving it alone. I'm going to pass this entire game and move on to the next one. All right, next up, we got Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. We have Milwaukee as a pretty heavy favorite at home. 8.5 total out there. Looking at the bats, we see Nerfy 63.6. Only problem is we don't know who's pitching for Pittsburgh. That's a major factor to a Nerfy, is who's throwing the ball. Nobody knows. It's not been announced. It's not on ESPN. It's on an outlier. I don't know where it is. So, but we can look at stats just in case you watch this later and they didn't do announce somebody. You might still want to take this game. Bat-wise, 4 runs a game for Pittsburgh. 5.7 for Milwaukee, slight advantage Milwaukee. 213 for Pitt, batting average for 24th. Milwaukee 214 for 23rd. They're both bottom 6 in batting average in the last 3 games. 8 strikeouts for 13th, meanwhile 9 strikeouts for 18th. So overall, Milwaukee has a slight advantage in runs, but they're the same in batting average, and Pittsburgh has a slight advantage in strikeouts. So let's look at the one pitcher we do know things about. Colin Ray's going out there. Supposedly, it is Milwaukee. Milwaukee might do weird things. Let's be honest. It's Milwaukee. So 3.34, 1-2. You can see what he's done. Hasn't faced Pitt recently, but outside of the 6-5 game, you take that out. All of a sudden, you got 6-0, 3-2, 4-3. 4-2, 3-1, 4-0. You got great numbers. 2 runs tops, maybe, based on what he usually does. If you take the one outlier out, I can't look at Pittsburgh because we don't have any stats. So based on the bats and based on the total, Milwaukee's a heavy favorite for some reason. I'm not even sure why, because the bats are not indicative of why they should be. Now, Colin Ray is a good pitcher, yeah, unless Pittsburgh's going to send out some minor leaguer who's never pitched before, which is very possible this time of year. Around the break, weird things tend to happen. So this is one of those weird ones. We don't know what's going to happen. I can't even really look at, can I even look at props? Let's be honest. Let's try. We will try. I can look at Colin Ray props. Okay, good deal. Let's pop them up. So, all right. It's Pittsburgh, strikeouts. What does strikeouts look like for Pittsburgh? 8th for 16th. That's a pass. Hits, middle of the road. Nothing is standing out in this one, to be honest, and it's weird. I really hate when they can't put their pitcher out there. Like, I get teams do it, things come up, but come on. Like, it's early morning. You should know these things by now. So, all right. So this one, we're not going to touch Milwaukee. We're not going to touch a total. We're not going to touch a prop. I'm not going to touch a Nerfy. We're just going to pass on this one because we don't know who's pitching for Pittsburgh, and we'll move on to the next one. All right. Next up, we got the Rangers and Angels in a fun one. We have the Texas Rangers heavily favored on the road. 8.5 your total out there. Looking at the bats, Texas is like the Twins right now. They're both on fire. 8.7 runs for first in their last 3. 355 for second on their batting average. 9.3 on strikeouts, but when you're that hot, who cares how much you strike out? Angels 3.7 for 20th while batting 228 for 18th, and they're first in strikeouts. So Texas has a massive advantage of the bats right now. They are 4-game winning streak as well, like to highlight things like that. Nerfy 47, not one we got a team this hot. Ain't gonna happen, so pass on that. Let's look at the pitchers. Now, the funny thing is, the rumors have come out that Texas is going to open up like 7 people to be traded this during the break. So Scherzer was the main name talked about. Is Scherzer going to move again? Is he going to be traded? Because of, I don't know why they're even talking about it, but they are. So that's got to factor some things, I would think. So, but Scherzer, you can see he has only done 3 games this year. 1 hit, 4-2, and 6-3. Not bad numbers. Nothing stands out. This says bad. Pretty good numbers at Scherzer. What do you expect? So now, if he's going to get moved, that might affect him. But he's moved like 3 out of 4 last year. So who knows? 2.7 with a 0.84. Good numbers. Contreras is going out there. You can see he's a bullpen guy. That's fun. 3-2, 4-1, a couple gems. You can see it's a bullpen game for the Angels. So we got the on-fire offense for Texas with the Scherzer, who's pitching pretty great, against the Angels, who are cold-ish, I'll say ish, in their bullpen game. So yeah, it seems like 170 seems like a steal in this one, because that's what I'm going to put down. We're going to make sure first off, we add pass to the next list, and then we come over here and put Texas money line. Welcome to the parlay, Texas. That's where you're going. Yep, Texas money line for sure. Over under, we're going to pass on. I mean, Texas might hit this over by themselves. If anything, what is Texas? All right, let's take time. Let's figure this out. We're going to pop back. We're going to come down to Texas. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure out team props. Rangers runs over. The way they do it's a little weird. You got to find out where the middle spot is. Over 4.5 and get for 130. 5.5. I think I'm going to do that. I like that. Over 4.5 team total. That's a team total. Oh my goodness, I'm doing it. You guys have asked a lot for it. This is how we're going to do it. So there's a better way I'm going to dig around, but I'm going to take Texas over 4.5 for that 130 because I think their offense is so hot that they can get at least 5 runs in this game against the bullpen game from Angels. So over 4.5. If you want to feel brave and ballsy, go 5.5 or plus money, but I'm going to take the minus 130 here. Take that, and we're good there. Props, we will pop over and look at some Scherzer. See what he's got going on. I want over strikeouts. He has not been a strikeout dude. Let's just do 2024. I don't care about last year. Yeah, his 3 games, he hasn't been striking dudes out, so we'll pass on that. It's hard with 3 games to really look at stats and figure out what we want here, so nothing's standing out. So even pitching outs, yeah, he's getting more and more. So obviously, first games. Contreras is a bullpen guy. I'm surprised he even has props, so that's a pass. So for all we're going to do for this one is we are going to take the Texas money line. It's going to go in a parlay, and we're going to take Texas over 4.5 team total. First one ever on this channel. Team total over Texas 4.5. Next game. Next up, we got Seattle and San Diego. We got Seattle was the favorite on the road by a moderate amount, 135. Over under 7.5 for your totals. Looking at the bats, we see Nerfy 54.5. Maybe we'll see. Bats 3.3 for Seattle for 23rd, while batting 229 for 17th. San Diego is better, 5.3 for 11th, 291 for 5th. So San Diego has the advantage with the bats, and as always, Seattle is bottom 2 when it comes to strikeouts. 12.7 for 29th. They struck out 14 times in their last game. San Diego, again, they're 7th in strikeouts. That's high for them. 7 strikeouts their last 3. Oh, so San Diego has the advantage of the bats. Pretty clear. Pitching wise, Adam Mazur is going out there with a 7.52 with a 1.82. You can see he doesn't pitch many innings when he does go out there, but he had a 888, 5.3, 6.4, 7.4. Dude gives up runs. Let's be honest. So, they didn't even put the logo for the Padres behind the man. They gave him the MLB free agent logo. This is how much ESPN cares about their graphics here. That's embarrassing. So you can see that's where he's at. Looking at Gilbert's the better pitcher. Let's be honest. 6-4 is his worst game. He had a 3 here, but 4.0, 2.0, Gilbert's better. We know this. So he's 12th in ERA, 21st in strikeouts, 3rd in WHIP. Yeah, so Seattle has a pitching advantage. San Diego has a batting advantage. They cancel each other out, so we can't take a side. And I don't want to take a total because, again, they're canceling out, and it's hard to predict which way it might go. There's no advantage either way. So now let's pop over to ye old props and see if anything stands out. Gilbert, strikeouts, is we got a plus EV, but it is San Diego. San Diego doesn't strike out much. Now it is 4.5. That is enticing. They're saying it should be 144, but FanDuel has it at 115. So over 4.5. Looking at the bats, we see San Diego bats are pretty hot, but they are 7th in strikeouts. They're only striking out 7 times a game as a whole team, and they're in the whole game. So, this would be literally considered a gamble. I don't know if I can do it. So we'll see if anything else stands out. Hits, no. Earned runs, no. Walks, no. Maybe. Let's look at his counterpart, Mr. Mazur here. See, it's kind of hard to see his stats because he doesn't pitch that many innings, so it's kind of hard to tell. It's like, yeah, okay, 4.5 strikeouts. It is Seattle. Are you going to pitch enough innings to get to the strikeout number? That's the question. So, hits. He gives up hits, but then Seattle's not getting, their offense ain't that good. So I got to lay off that prop. The only prop I want to even consider is strikeouts for Gilbert, and it is San Diego. And they're like KC. They're one of the teams that just don't strike out often. All right. This is going to be, since I have nothing else in this game, I want something for this game. And this isn't a bad one. I just don't feel great about it. I don't feel the best, I'll be honest with you. If you're one of those ones that follow everything I play, this is my least favorite play of the day. I'm gonna throw it out there. I like Gilbert's. I'm taking this as an EV play. Expected value. That's what we're doing here. We're getting put it this way. There are dozens of offshore books. If you can see this number, it's offshore. I can guarantee you that. It might even be better offshore. You might even be able to get better total, like go to like one of those like Bet Openly or something like that. Take a peer-to-peer. Plenty of ways to get better odds. So if you're using one book, you're doing it wrong. Let me say that again. I will say that every video if I have to. So Gilbert over 4.5Ks is what we're going to go with. 115, might as well. So, all right, nothing else matters in this game. We're passing on everything else. We're taking Gilbert over 4.5 strikeouts and moving to the next one. All right, second to last game, we got the Braves and Diamondbacks. Sale supposedly pitching today. We'll see if he does. So we have Atlanta. It's basically a pick 'em on this point. Slight favorite Atlanta. 7.5 for total. Looking at the bats, we see 5.3 for Atlanta for 11th, 223 for 19th on the runs. Arizona's still hot, 6.7 runs for third, 231 for their batting average is now 16th. They are trending down. They were like super hot, but they're cooling off now. 11 strikeouts for Atlanta versus 6.7 for Arizona, which is 5th. So looking at the odds, just in the bats alone, we're not taking a nerfing. Don't trust that. We will look at some pitchers. Let's start with Sale, because we did Sale yesterday, so it should be pretty quick. We know his game log. We see he's pretty good. We see his whip, his ERA, all that good stuff. Gall, on the other hand, is one we didn't look at. 306 with a 111, has not faced the Braves. Didn't pitch at all in June until the very end, but he came back with a 1 hit over 6 innings and 4-3 against the Dodgers. So we know Gallen's pretty decent too. Sale, I believe, still better. So I give Atlanta the advantage with the pitching. Looking back at the odds, 7.5 with these bats. It's middle of the road to hot. I'm going to pass on the total. Side, Arizona has the offense. I think Atlanta has the pitching. To me, those cancel out. So we're not taking a side. We're not taking a total. We're not taking a nerfy. Oh, we got a props. So again, we'll probably look at Chris Sale strikeouts again. Let's be honest. Let's go to outlier strikeouts. That's the first one we're going to start with. Over 6.5. It was 6.5 yesterday. We're going to take the same thing again today, just because. Along with a lot of people were on it yesterday. I don't know if they will be today, but I will be. We'll ride the numbers. Why not? Yeah, we'll take that. Earn runs. I didn't take anything else yesterday. We'll quickly roll through these just to make sure nothing changed. But yeah, we'll take his Ks just because 6.5, and he has been beasting everybody outside of when he had his terrible game against Oakland. So we'll take that. Gall, on the other hand, it's hard to look at his stats because he did miss a month. So really, I need to look at the last 5 and really just the last couple. So I can't do Gallen's stats. So all we're going to take in this one, same as yesterday, we're going to take Chris Sale on the strikeouts. We're not taking sides. We're not taking totals. We're not taking nerfies. Just take Sale over 6.5 strikeouts and move to the last game. All right, last game. We got a fun one. We got Toronto. We got San Fran. San Francisco's a slight favorite, but you know who's pitching? Yeah, it's Blake Snell. He's back. So have fun if you're taking that money line. Over under 7.5. Looking at the bats, we see Nerfy is 65.2, mainly because Toronto. San Fran helps with that a little bit, but that's based on where they are. 3.7 for Toronto for 20th. San Fran, 4 runs for 17th. 223 and 192. Both teams are bottom half in the batting average. San Fran's bottom 3 in batting average. 9.7 strikeouts for Toronto. 11.3 strikeouts for San Francisco. They're both striking out a lot. I'm already thinking about the weird things I'm taking in this game. So let's look at the pitchers. We got Kikuchi going out there. He's a 4.12 with 1.31. Hasn't faced San Fran, but he's been blowing up that game, blowing up that game, blowing 4 runs to me. He's getting blown up 4 more. Blowing up that game. 5-2 against Houston, not bad. 3-0 against Milwaukee and 4-1. So he's had more games where he gives up 4 more runs. So we expect 4 to 5 runs easily out of Kikuchi. But then you see the bats for San Fran. You got to say, well, maybe not so much, maybe 3. So we got to reduce that a little bit. So his counterpart, though, makes it interesting. Old Blake Snell, Mr. Cy Young himself, is this not the worst season for a Cy Young dude ever? It got to be. So, because yeah, he left. They didn't even give him a new jersey yet. They still got him in San Diego gear. Like, put his San Fran stuff on there, ESPN. What are you doing? Respect the man. I know he's been terrible this year, but come on, respect him a little bit. He hasn't pitched since June 2nd. 5-3, 5-3, 4-4. He doesn't pitch more than 4 innings because he hasn't been good. I mean, if you look at the games, he is getting better. I'll give him that. 5-3, 7 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts. So yeah, we'll look at props. This one might be just for fun. We might have some fun with this one. See what his numbers are. So Snell strikeouts. That's all we have. Over under it's 4.5 is juiced up, and he's facing Toronto. You know what? I'm a Snell fan. I like Snell. I was a big fan last year. He's struggling this year. I'm waiting for him to break out. So I want to take over 4.5 strikeouts just because I want to. I'm going to. The numbers are there. The juice is a little high, but hey, whatever. I'll take it. We're taking that. And then we want to look at, because both teams are striking out so much, what's Kikuchi's strikeouts? He's 5.5. That's a little high. And he has been shown to be a roller coaster. Hits, earned runs, walks. No, nothing stands out there. Do I trust? I don't know if I trust either team to really do anything here. I definitely am not taking a nerfy with these two pitchers. I can't do it. It might be 3-4 at the end of the first inning. So for me, I'll take Snell. He can give up 7 runs as long as he gets 5 strikeouts. I don't care. So we'll take Snell over 4.5 on strikeouts and call it a day. All right, that's it. That's all 15 games broken down. There was a lot of discussion in there. A lot of weirdness happened today. This is a longer video than usual. It might be my longest video yet. So, because I rambled a good bit about certain topics and certain things. So, overall, drop a like, subscribe, share if you have not already. We're trying to grow the channel, and I grow because of you. You're helping me out, and I'm trying to help you out by giving you these stats and information the best I can. So, for the quick, but first, if you like all the props and everything, Outlier in the description, go check it out. It's a free trial. You sign up for free. 7 days, play with it, check it out. You can see all the cool stuff it does. And then it's like 25 a month, there's 20 a month. It's pretty cheap compared to the other ones. So check it out in the description. Let's look over at the list of games, the recap now, because I'm making up for yesterday not having many games. I'm telling you right now, this is a lot of plays on here. It feels like a lot of plays, but there's a lot of passes I'm noticing too. So either way, Cubs and Baltimore. We're going to take the Baltimore money line, and we're going to take under of 9. Cleveland, Detroit, we're going to pass on that one. Dodgers, Philly, we're taking Philly on the money line. Schwarber, Harper back tonight. That might be a big deal. I'm also going to throw a unit on Wheeler over 1.5 walks. It's a weird one to take, but I'm going to do it. Yankees and Rays, we're going to pass completely. Colorado and Cincy, Nerfy and under 8.5. And Washington Mets, Nerfy and under 8.5. Same play 2 games in a row. Oakland, Boston, the fun one. I'm taking Oakland plus 1.5. Closer to game time, I might throw Oakland money line on there as well. I might throw another unit on Oakland money line. Not yet. I want to see what the number looks like. I want to see some more things. I want to see the line movement, see what it looks like. But for now, definitely taking Oakland plus 1.5. KC and St. Louis, we're going to pass on that one. Minnesota White Sox, we're going to take the over of 8, the Minnesota money line, and Ober over 5.5 strikeouts. Miami and Houston is a pass. Don't like that one. Weird things. Pitt, Milwaukee is a pass. We don't know who's pitching for Pitt. And it's Milwaukee. They're weird sometimes. Texas Angels. We're taking Texas money line. And we're going to take Texas over 4.5 team total. Yes, the first team total of the season. You guys have asked for it. I'm finally doing it. Team total over 4.5. Seattle and San Diego. I'm taking Gilbert over 4.5 strikeouts. We're gonna risk it. If you didn't watch the whole video, this is my least favorite play of the day, is Gilbert over 4.5 strikeouts, because San Diego just doesn't strike out much. Atlanta, Arizona, we're going back to Sale over 6.5 strikeouts. Toronto, San Fran, we're doing it. I'm going to back the boy. I'm going to take Blake Snell over 4.5 strikeouts. He can give up 7 runs all he wants as long as he strikes out 5 dudes. That's all I care about. So you have all those. Moneyline parlay, I have not even put together yet. We're going to do it together. So we're going to do Baltimore. We're going to do Philly. We're going to take Texas, it looks like, and Minnesota. Yeah, okay. So moneyline parlay is going to be Baltimore, Philly, Minnesota, Texas. That's it. We don't put underdogs in there, so Oakland will not go in there. We're not crazy. No. underdogs to get their own bets. But these four are pretty decent favorites. We're put them all together, whatever those odds are, at your book. Everybody has different books. So those four teams are the moneyline parlay. So again, I appreciate you watching this far, watching this whole video. I know it's long. I appreciate you being subscribed. Appreciate you being here, giving me comments and feedbacks. Comment in the description what you're taking today. Tell me what I missed if I missed something. I like to hear the feedback. I like engaging. So drop a like, subscribe, share, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.